Hello, fellow YouTubers, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. On the last episode, we found out that the person in the evidence room was probably not, Detective Goodman, because he lost his ID card and could have been stolen, and so the person that used the ID card might not have been him. But I kind of pointed everything back towards the parking lot, and we already know that Lana was witnessed stabbing someone, so we had to turn it back around and found out that, we called Marshall to the stand, and so also we found out that we got a giant stack of Vessel 9 papers and found out that Lana was a witness, and Emma was somehow involved in it too, and she ran away. So, on this episode, we're going to be heading off to the second part of the trial, trying to find out what's going to happen now that we have this giant stack of papers and what Marshall's going to say. So, the court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Emma didn't come back.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Drinking at court, wonderful.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just the same as you. Wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed.
Oh god, Edgeworth and Marshall have pretty much the same voice, just that Marshall has that southern twang to it.
Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Oh, my voice is gonna be so destroyed after this episode. Howling wind, I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge regarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is that correct? According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In English. Take that, Marshall. Day of the crime.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the rooms were protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I meant the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks inside the evidence room?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Now I gotta prevent other people from getting that southern twang to their voice. I have enough problems with the judge. His voice changes, like, daily. So, with this testimony, we have a trump card in our possession. The bloody handprint that has his fingerprints located all over it. So that's what we're gonna present now. We're gonna bring it out right out the bat. I mean, we have to. Let's see. We can either do it on this statement, or we can do it on this statement right here. So we're not out of ammo. We actually have plenty of ammo. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds, about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness! What is the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall.
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the bloodstained fingerprints? Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime.
Well then. Bloodstained fingerprints. How's he gonna worm his way out of this one?
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and fingerprints were completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Alright, so this one's a little more difficult, but first thing we're going to do is we're going to press the first statement. This one right here. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That, and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently, his fingerprint data was never changed. He must have been using the fingerprint lock without even knowing it. And so that'll get updated in the court record that the handprint was on his locker, which now kind of hurts us, but you did say something else in this statement that didn't make any sense. We're gonna go all the way to the last statement on here. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How did he know that? How do you know that? Thank you, Phoenix.
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place his hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
The seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in here, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner?
So that's a new statement just added, obviously since I just read it out in his voice. So, what does he mean by that? What do you mean by that? Why am I saying what Phoenix is supposed to say moments before he does?
You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, he could leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Show evidence or no evidence in video. I think we'll call it an episode here. This seems like a good spot. I mean, we're about 14 minutes in. So, on the next episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, we are going to be presenting some evidence, or maybe not, of how Marshall got passed. So, until next time, hopefully you enjoy. Oh God! A jaguar. Oh, this is Tarzan, isn't it? This is the same jaguar that he fought in Tarzan. Oh God, look at his health. At least I have a dodge roll now, so yeah, I can at least dodge attacks. Oh, that was cool. Whoa! Ow! Ow! Oh, he's not hurting me as bad as I thought he would. Which if I fire him, so... Oh, he's at so low health.